Well, as you know, this is Betsy Canal. She's the executive director of our schools, and let's thank her for all that she does on a daily basis to help get our kids where they need to go in life. And I'm Scott Treadway. I'm the lead pastor here at Rancho and president, and it is a great, great pleasure to see you all here. Thank you so much for being here. Now, we've got a great night planned out for you. We have got several announcements that we're going to make, some of which are very fun, some of which are really historic,
yes,
and we're excited about
so.
that for sure. Now, I'm around town an awful lot, and I'm at restaurants or city hall, board meetings, whatever, and the topic that everybody wants to talk about when it comes to Rancho is our athletics. And I understand that, it's kind of a sports nation, and sports makes the headlines, and frankly, Rancho has done pretty well over the years. In fact, in just the last few years, we've had 10 league championships in 5 different sports, 2 CIF championships, and a state championship. And so Rancho does pretty well, and a lot of that is due to a fantastic core of coaches. We've got amazing coaches. Let's give them a round of applause. These are coaches that have high-level, upper division experience, and we are very, very blessed to have them for sure. They have placed, through the course of their career, well over 130 high school students as college athletes, and so they really know what they're doing. And they're not only coaches for sport; they really coach young men and women in life. And so, the thing we say around here is champions for life. We want to build good, solid, Christ-centered young men and women, not just good athletes. We are very privileged to announce that we have Eric Mobley as our girls basketball coach, so let's thank him for joining the team. And James Pierce is our golf coach, and so we continue to add programs and bring on amazing coaches. And we're always investing in our athletes and our athletics, including the building of various facilities. You're in one right now. And Betsy, you have an announcement to make as well.
I do. We have, no doubt, some of you have seen the poles going in the area next to our football field. So it is my extreme pleasure to announce that our baseball field will be ready for this baseball season.
Woo.
Exactly. Long about mid-January, January 15th is when we'll see that completed. And so our home games now, all of our preschoolers through high schoolers can come cheer on our league champion, last year defending league champion, Eagles baseball team.
Very good.
We're very excited about that.
Definitely.
Also in athletics, we are upgrading our weight training and our strength and conditioning space as well. So that will be ready to go for the 18-19 school year.
Very nice.
In addition.
Tons of fun. Well, it's always exciting to talk about athletics, and that is a lot of the public chatter, but we are very excited about academics and arts as well. It is not a choice between academics, arts, and athletics. Some people think, well, you're one kind of school or the other. Well, not necessarily. Our vision is to be a comprehensive school where we are exceptional in every discipline of school life. And that is absolutely true in academics as well. And so our flagship academically is our STEM program. This is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And there's some interesting things to know about the STEM fields. In 20 years, half of all jobs available will be in the STEM fields. Half. So in order for a school to adequately prepare their students for the rest of their lives, we have to have an exceptional STEM program. On average, jobs in the STEM field earn 30 to 40% more than non-STEM related jobs. Some STEM-related fields, like biomedical science, have seen more than a 60% increase of job opportunities over the last 10 years. And our STEM program is doing exceptionally well. We have got computer labs, a great computer lab in the West Campus. We'll hear a little bit more about our technology here in the East Campus. We'll hear more about what's happening here in the West Campus here in a little bit. Robotics is doing phenomenally well, both in middle school and in high school. Our teams are doing great. Our class time is doing great. Computer science, computer coding. We are this year, actually last year, leaving Earth and headed to the heavens with our satellite tracking program, as well as astronomy. And we are hoping at one point, hopefully in the not too distant future, Werner Vovkin, that we will actually begin rocketry around here as well. So the STEM sciences are really where it's at, the STEM fields. And Betsy, you have an announcement to make?
I do.
This as well.
I do. I have another announcement. There have been rumors and kind of shy announcements, but again, something that we officially get to say is that by the end of second semester, in time for the 18-19 school year, we will have our all-campus observatory here on campus. So we are so excited for that. That is definitely worth
We can applaud that. That's
applause.
a big deal.
That's huge. That's been a definite labor of love for us, and we're excited. And the great thing about an all-campus observatory is that all grades, kindergarten through high school, will get to benefit from the observatory in our astronomy program. So it's the only one of its kind in Southern California. So yes, we can applaud that as well.
Yes,
We've got a
absolutely.
little applauder there. A future astronomer is applauding there. But what actually is really exciting about this observatory, and it's under the leadership of Mr. Werner Vovkin, is that our high school students are participating in the actual building of this observatory. So I know very few high school students that can say they've built an observatory.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty amazing.
I
That's
met with
fantastic.
our STEM director, Werner Vovkin, and he kind of laid out all the plans as far as how to build this and which student teams are going to be involved in the business side and the marketing side and construction side. And that's real world experience for our kids, and we're very excited about that.
That's a college essay.
Absolutely, for sure. We also have an exciting announcement about our technology as well, so tell us about that.
This is one of my personal favorites. It's a passion project of mine, and we've been working with Apple for a while now on Rancho being the first school in the region to be an Apple Distinguished School. So we've met with the folks at Apple, we've strategized with them, and we think that there will probably be an Apple Distinguished School as early as 2019. So that's a big deal for us. We're really excited, and we're really grateful to the folks at Apple that have kind of worked with us and partnered with us to help make that happen. So that's huge.
It's huge. It's a rigorous technology benchmark, and for us to be the only Apple Distinguished School in the region will be very cool. So we can applaud that too.
Yes, we can absolutely applaud
Absolutely.
that. That's fantastic.
All right, so now we're going to talk about the major cultural shifts in academics, and there are 4 of them that we will address today. And Rancho is tackling these academic trends head on. We want to be at the leading edge of these trends, and we have strategic plans around those. So tell us what those trends are.
So these are 4 trends that we're seeing that are really impacting the future of education. And so we've really wanted to take a look at these and tackle these. We have amazing teachers and amazing staff and students that are helping us do that. So the 4 trends are global citizenry, say that 10 times fast, college planning, student analytics, and the concept of secure independence, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But these are 4 kind of pressing trends that we're noticing in education that Rancho is excited to be a part of.
Absolutely. So let's talk about being a global citizen. The reality is that the world is getting wonderfully smaller and more connected. Because of technology and because of travel and the free flow of information and because of commerce, the world is getting wonderfully smaller and connected. Every industry is essentially becoming a global collaboration of ideas, of humanitarianism, of products, of solutions and problem solving that we're facing throughout the world. It's becoming a tiny place to live, and it's wonderful, right? The interconnection of mankind, our ability to collaborate and problem solve and tackle some of the biggest problems globally is really the essential call for mankind today. So we've got to realize that we're not just raising good, solid, proud citizens of the United States of America, state of California, town of Temecula, but global citizens. And learning that from the youngest ages is essential. It is critical. Students have to be prepared to engage the world, not just the world around them, but the whole world. Here are some statistics around this. A person's ability to learn a second language peaks at what age? What's the peak age to learn a second language? What do you think? Yeah, 7 years old. Yet, for many schools, we only teach second languages in high school. 34% of students who viewed art in a museum retain and recall those significant details than just book learning. And so we get students out there. We have dozens of field trips. We want to get students learning and experiencing. We want to get them moving and exploring and traveling, doing things with their hands. 67% of high school students continue to study a foreign language in college. And so we want to be sure that from the youngest ages here at Rancho, they're in the habit of learning global language. And if they know more than one language, they have a much higher likelihood of success in this world. Students who travel, again, we want to see students moving and growing and traveling. They have more opportunities in their future careers. They are 4 times more likely to enjoy traveling in business and 2 times more likely to be international travelers in their leisure. U.S. middle school students who travel as part of their curriculum are 30% more likely to attend college. And students who travel make 40% higher salaries than those who do not. And so training and equipping global citizens has everything to do not only with a student's future success, but has everything to do with engaging them to help shape the world. That's what we want to see. We want to see young men and women who are Christ-centered, trained, equipped, engaged to change this world. So Betsy, you have some announcements about developing global citizens here at Rancho.
I do. So for us, really, as Scott mentioned, the global experience starts very young. So we offer Spanish as an elective to our elementary students. So even our youngest learners, our kindergartners, are learning global language and global culture. And so that's really rare but very necessary. So we're really excited about that. We're so excited about that at some of our elementary levels we'll be offering Mandarin next year as a global language for our elementary learners. Because again, as they are young, they're more apt to capture that information that they're learning about the global language. In high school, we offer, by the time they get to high school, we offer 4 options for global language. You met some of our American Sign Language students. We also offer Spanish, French, and Mandarin. The picture that you saw of the students in front of the piece of art, the Picasso, that was our Spanish and our French students. They took a day and they went up to the Norton Simon Museum up in Los Angeles. And they were able to see how art influenced history and culture, and they were able to have that well-rounded experience with what they were learning in the classroom to what they saw in the museum. So it was very, very exciting. We've hit that at the academic level. But as Christians, as Scott said, we know that there's the academic way of being globally ready, but then we also have the spiritual way of being globally ready and that service to others. That's so important for us to have our students embrace. And so we actually started a missions club under the leadership of Mr. Shane Treadway. The Missions Club is run by our students. They're part of the leadership team, and they work on trips and different activities that they want to go out and serve others. So we're very excited that the team will be heading to the Houston area in April to help with the rebuilding efforts. That's a long-term effort, as we learned, right? That's going to be a project that's going on for a while. So we're really excited that they've put together this trip in early April to go help the folks in Houston. So that's very exciting. I want to thank Shane for leading up that trip. That's going to be amazing, and I know the folks of Houston are going to be thrilled. With that, the other thing that we've done, and it's been, those of you that are familiar with Rancho as a church and a school, is the two of us have partnered together in the Go Beyond initiative, and that's a huge global effort that we are undertaking. And a part of that program, students have gone to Mexico, Peru, Kenya to our sister school, Imani Christian School, and Cuba. So we're getting our students out into these wonderful international experiences so they can go and learn to serve others and learn about other cultures. I think you actually got to go to Cuba this last year, right,
I did.
Scott?
I went with our baseball team to Cuba, and it was a great time to go there to learn another culture, to serve another culture, and then to help build a bridge, essentially as student ambassadors. It was awesome.
That's a great trip, because politically that was pretty impressive as well from a trip perspective.
It was absolutely spot on, for sure. Now, we also have, as part of Go Beyond, a very serious initiative for 2018. We want to mobilize 1,000 students, locally and globally, to serve the world around them. 1,000 students in the Rancho world. And if we get to mobilize, say, 1,000 students a year, they then get in the habit of not only being a global citizen, but a habit of serving. So their life is not spent on investing in themselves only. Their life is spent truly giving back, serving others, and changing the world. So we're excited about global citizenship. We're also excited about college planning. Another big concern for parents is college planning, and this is understandable. College is becoming more expensive and more competitive. Anybody here sent a kid off to college? Yeah, there are a bunch of us. I sent one a couple years ago, and it is more competitive and more expensive. And in order to be competitive in this modern world, we have got to absolutely walk with our students, not just in academic exceptionalism, but in coaching them for their college future. Our family is going to send another couple off to college this next year. And so we're going through all the college applications and all the essays and the recommendations, but also there's coaching that is required to make sure they go to the perfect fit. And this is something you'll hear at Rancho quite a bit, the perfect fit. It's not about any particular college, it's about the perfect college for every single student. According to the College Board, there's an industry standard in terms of how many colleges a student should apply for, and the standard is 5 to 8 colleges. 5 to 8 colleges is about right. There are 4,726 degree-granting institutions in the United States. I know some of our seniors this year have applied to every single one of them. They've got tons of applications out there. So there's a lot of colleges to choose from, for sure, but it's about finding the perfect fit. For those of you who are parents of fourth graders, by the time they graduate high school, there will be 22.6 million students in college, as compared with 15.3 million students in college today. That means the college world is going to get more competitive. That means our students have got to have the edge. They've got to have the edge academically, they have to have the edge with college preparation, and they have to have the edge in finding their perfect fit. So Betsy, we've got a few tools to help our families in this process.
We do. Our edge is a fantastic woman by the name of Mrs. Nydia Weber. Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. Mrs. Weber is fantastic. Clearly, some of you have had the opportunity, or your students have had the opportunity to meet with her. She has met with all the seniors, all the juniors. She started on the freshmen and sophomores. She should be done with them by about Christmas time. And then in January, she'll start to meet with our 8th graders. And so what she does is she just puts together such an amazing, organized package to help folks navigate the college process. And again, to find that right fit. I encourage you to visit her webpage on our website. It's probably one of the most thorough I have ever seen kind of navigating the college process. She does a lot of great things. She's probably got one of the most colorful offices on campus. If you want to see an active campus, this is kind of this is a corner. This is a very small corner of a fantastically colorful office. So she does a lot of things for our students. The other thing that she does is she plans college tours. So how many of you, I see some students back there. Did any of you go on some of those college tours with Mrs. Weber? Yep, I got a thumbs up back there. She's had 2 sold out college tours, and they're free, so they're not really sold out, but they're full. They're full college. We've got the full vans, and she goes and she visits with these students public schools, private schools, large schools, small schools, all to give our students kind of a general sense of what a college campus feels like. Studies show that the student success in college is as much tied to academics as it is to the feel, that intangible stuff that makes a student feel home and welcome on a campus. And the best way we feel to do that is to go visit these college campuses. So she's taken it upon herself to organize these trips, and the students have loved it. They always go somewhere fun for lunch and make a real day of it, and it's very exciting. They do them on our professional development days. The other thing she does is she plans parent information nights. She has about 8 to 10 of those, and they cover a wide variety of topics. Financial aid, application process, grade-specific stuff. They're open to everybody. So just because you don't have a 10th grader, you think you may have a 10th grader, you're welcome to come to those. She covers all sorts of things. It's a great place to get your questions asked. She has a lot of research stuff that she doesn't know. She looks up, but she knows a lot. She knows so much. She knows a lot. And it's true. When we say her name and everybody applauds, it's very true that Mrs. Weber's been just a total blessing to us and this process and helping these kids find that right fit. It's just amazing. And so I want to thank Mrs. Weber again. Is she even here? Mrs. Weber, are you here?
She's at a college tour.
There. So she's fantastic. We're lucky to have her.
She's great. She's great. So the third cultural element in education, a trend that we've got to stay ahead of, is student analytics. Now, this might sound a little nerdy, but analytics is really where the future is at. And student analytics tracks the path of every student and their journey through their academic process to make sure that if there's any weaknesses, they're shored up, to make sure that the students have the absolute best experience and the absolute best outcomes by the time they graduate. Everybody uses analytics. No doubt your company uses analytics. And we know the analytics of Google and Facebook. Everything is driven by analytics. And if you go online, every ad that you get is driven by analytics. And so it's important to have that data-driven environment in an educational institution to make sure the students get the absolute best experience here at Rancho for the absolute best future. Tell us why this is so important in a school. So
student data, student analytics is really kind of the unsung hero of education. For a school to be able to take in data, test scores, grades, student performance, all of those things, look at it under different lenses and set a strategy based on that data, it's really going to set apart a great school from a bunch of good schools. So we really put a lot of energy into this, and luckily we've got somebody that has the energy to look at all this stuff, and that's Mrs. Lisa Gray. Where's Miss Lisa
She's here,
Gray? There she is, over there, Miss Gray. And now, she kind of nerds out on this stuff, I'm not gonna lie. Like, their spreadsheet, there are people that like Excel, and then there's Miss Gray. She loves Excel. And so, but she takes all that information, she takes that data, all of those test scores, SAT scores, Terra Nova test scores, PSAT scores, grades, and she works with our teachers to really develop strategies to help student performance, to find those areas that we're excelling in, find those areas that we can put a little bit more attention into, find those great things that our kids can do and can learn from. And so this is really what's gonna set Rancho apart from other schools, is we've got this tremendous resource in Miss Gray that allows us to look at student data and let her nerd out on all of this information. So it's really exciting for us.
Well, we're very, very thrilled for that, for sure. And it will only mean to the benefit of the students that they will have the absolute best experience here and be prepared. We also want to talk about secure independence. And this is our final point today. There's a lot of discussion about what to do with that age group between 10 and 14. It is a little bit of a funky age, right? Do you remember being 10 or 14? Some of you here are 10 or 14. It's a funky age because you're not quite a kid and you're not quite an adolescent. Some people have called them tweeners. It is felt by every 5th and 6th grader. That sense of, am I a teenager yet? Can I explore? Can I think on my own? Brains are getting much more complex. We can do independent thinking, creative thinking, complex problem solving. But still, there's a big difference between a 6th grader and an 8th grader, physically, socially, spiritually, academically. And so the goal for the 5th, 6th years is to have each student feel independently secure. Because here's a reality. Kids go through more changes between the ages of 10 to 14 than in any other time in their lives after 18 months old. Huge change between birth and 18 months. And then the greatest change in a person's life, physically, socially, spiritually, academically, is between the ages of 10 and 14 years old. That is a critically important age. Now, in that age group, they need a sense of independence. Right? If we're just still hovering over our kids and they can't make their own choices, they can't think on their own, they can't creatively think or problem solve, then we're not doing them any good developmentally. They need to be stretched. They need to be stretched in terms of their independence. They don't need to be coddled as kids as much. They can feel free to explore, to make choices on their own, and even to lead. Leadership skills start to develop around that 5th, 6th age group. But they also need to feel secure. They need to feel as though they can take some independent risks, but they also need to know there's a safety net if they fall, and an army of adults who love them and let them know it's okay. If you succeed, there's going to be wonderful, accolades there and tons of support for you when you succeed. But when you face a challenge, there's going to be a lot of people here who will help you out. And so this is a critically important age, and there's a lot of discussions in terms of what this means academically. Do we keep putting 6th graders with 8th graders, or is there another model that says that 5th, 6th grade, those 5th and 6th grades can be a wonderful, unique experience, tailor-made for exactly where they are developmentally? And you've got a pretty fun announcement.
Well, you got so close to me, so close, but you left the good part for me. So this is monumental, this is historic. We are actually announcing tonight a new school at Rancho for 5th and 6th grade. It's called Upper Elementary, and it will be housed in the East Campus. And this is a great opportunity to address exactly what that quote said, that struggle between security and independence. And we're very excited. It's research-based. Our principal, Mrs. Cowan, has spent a lot of time, and our teachers have spent a lot of time on developing this model. We're really excited about all the things that it will include. So this school is going to include some fantastic leadership opportunities for these 5th and 6th graders. Really cool electives. So we talked about the Mandarin before. They'll be able to have Mandarin as one of their elective courses. And then a really interesting business course that we're working on as well. Just a nice wide variety of electives to kind of keep them excited about learning. There'll be specialized instruction for the core classes, which is also very good. And then, of course, the things that kids are excited about, right? So they'll have their lockers, they'll have places to play, all of those very kid-specific and kid-necessary tools that I'm sure that they're they are very important. We talked a little bit about Apple Distinguished School as well. So we're going one-to-one in the upper elementary school as well with iPads. They'll be having those tablets with them as they learn with their teachers. They'll have their own campus. The Village, which is back there, I would encourage any of you that are walking down that direction to go look at the beautiful Village that we have back down there. There's gorgeous lights, great signs, and we'll have Mrs. Cowan, our elementary principal, will be in a classroom that we've kind of set up as a sample classroom for you. So it'll have the idea wall. We've painted the wall with the idea paint. Those of you that know the idea wall here down at the middle and high school building, there's a woohoo for the idea walls. So we have the idea wall, some unique seating. She can kind of talk you through that. But I encourage you to go down and visit. It's a very exciting opportunity for us. It is historic for us. It's historic for the area, and we're really excited to make that announcement tonight.
Absolutely, and that's something we can applaud. This is a real concerted effort on our part to make sure that those preteen years have a tailor-made experience just for them. So it'll be very much like middle school in that you'd have the lockers and you change classrooms and you can play middle school sports, right? So you get a lot of the benefits of middle school, but it's a little more of a secure environment, tailor-made for that 5th and 6th grade year. And we are absolutely thrilled about it. There's a quote from Disney, a Disney quote from Meet the Robinsons. It says this: "Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things because we're curious. And curiosity leads us down new paths." And this is what we want to have happen here at Rancho, continually walking down new paths and walking every student down new paths of curiosity, of exploration, of personal development and spiritual development, to build Christ-centered leaders who will be very well equipped, not just for college and university and career and success, but very well equipped to change the world. And to do so in a warm environment, a relationship-driven environment, a safe environment with the love of Christ is at the very center of every classroom and the very center of every relationship. And we're so honored, for those of you who are already Rancho parents, we're so honored to partner with you in the education and development of your children. And for those of you who are new, just checking things out here tonight, we thank you so much for coming. And we're going to be around here. I'll be hanging around here. And in just a minute, Betsy is going to dismiss us. And you can explore all this exciting campus, the exciting vision that we have for your students. Thank you for spending your evening with us. And we look forward to a great 2018-19 school year.